Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-through for a quiet little slow jams remix of 1.8. There is a mistake here on 1.8, so I had some people ask me to redo it. So let's do better. It's always the goal. Okay? We're going to be doing the following things. We're going to be describing things with words. We're going to be writing a recursive rule. Describing how features identified in the recursive rule can be used to write an explicit rule. We're going to write explicit rules, and we're going to identify it as arithmetic, geometric, or neither. Before we get started, let's talk explicit formula. If it's arithmetic, the formula is going to be y equals mx plus b. Okay? But as an alternative notation, we might say the function is a value of some number n, m times n plus b. These two things are synonymous. They're the exact same thing. Okay? Where this is the slope and b is the y-intercept. Okay? For geometric, okay, the explicit formula is going to be y equals b times r to the x, where b is still the y-intercept and r is the ratio of multiplication. So it's kind of like the slope, but instead of being added each time, it's being multiplied each time. Alright, here we go. So, that's an example. You might want to pause the video and take a look at that example. Okay? We're going to move on into the first one. So what's going on in this? Well, we multiplied by 2, we multiplied by 2, we multiplied by 2. So what will 5 be? The next term will be 80. Okay? What is the recursive rule? I'm going to do number 2 over here. Well, we need two things for recursive. We need to know one of the terms. So the first term is 5. To find any term, that's what f of n means. We take the previous output and what do we do to it? We multiply by 2. That is the recursive. Okay? To find the nth term, well, let's write the explicit rule first. And then we'll come back and find the nth term. Since we are multiplying every time, this is geometric. The explicit form for a geometric is y equals b times r to the x. So to find our b, we put in a 0 for our x. We work backwards. So we got to divide by 2. Alright, sorry about the sneeze. So I have to divide by 2, and that's where I get our b is 2.5, our y-intercept. Okay? Our r is 2. So, the explicit rule is y equals 2.5 times 2 to the x power. So the nth term, f of n, will be 2.5 times 2 to the n power. Same thing. This is geometric. Now I want to show you something. Check this out. Graphing calculator. Let's turn it on. y equals 2.5 times 2 to the x power. You see how I did that? See how this and this are the same thing? Enter. Now I want to see the table. How does this table compare to my table? So I got to hit second graph. Holy moly. There we go. Look, our tables are exactly the same. So again, your graphing calculator is a great way to check yourself on this. Alright, we're not going to do all of these, but I'm going to do enough that I think I'll show you. Each time here, we are subtracting 9. So we're getting smaller by 9 every time. That means this is arithmetic. Okay? The slope is -9. The y-intercept, put in a 0. I got to add 9 to get backwards, so the y-intercept is 1. The explicit formula is y equals mx plus b. So this one is going to be y equals -9x plus 1. Now let's start filling things out. How to find the next term? Subtract 9. The recursive rule. F of 1 is -8. To find any number, you take the previous number and you subtract 9. The nth term, f of n, will equal -9n plus 1. The explicit rule is y equals -9x plus 1. This is arithmetic. Calculator, y equals clear -9x plus 1. Second graph, get me the table. Boom, lines up perfectly. If you were wondering about the 6, just scroll down and you can see that we have all of them right. Alright, let's see. Times 3, times 3, times 3, times 3. This is geometric. This is going to be y equals b times r to the x. Put in a 0 to find our y-intercept. What's 2 divided by 3? It's 0.6 repeating. So our b is 2/3. 2/3. Let me clean that up. Which is 0.6 repeating. Our r is 3. So our explicit rule is y equals 2/3 times 3 to the x. F of n is 2/3 times 3 to the n. F of 1 equals 2. F of n minus 1. Sorry. I lost my train of thought. F of n, excuse me. F of n is f of n minus 1 times 3. The next term will be 7, I don't know, what's 486 times 3? Quit. 1458. Okay. And we're moving on. Would you like to see if we did it right? Why not? You know, it's kind of important. So y equals clear parentheses 2 divided by 3 times 3 to the x power. Let's check our table. 2, 6, 18, 54, 162, 486. You can go forever if the machine will work. Look how big that gets. Remember, we want our money to grow like rabbits. Alright. I really feel like you should have gotten the hang of this by now. Let's see. Here we're adding 3/5. Let's see. That's 8/5 plus 3/5 is 10/5 or 11/5. That's right. We're adding 3/5 each time. Oh, look, they even give us our y-intercept. Excellent. This is y equals 3/5 x plus 1. To find the next term, add 3/5. The recursive rule, f of 1 is 1.6. That's what 3/5 is. To find f of n, we take the previous number and we add 3/5. Find the nth term. F of n is 3/5 times n plus 1. Y equals 3/5 x plus 1. Arithmetic. Plus 3 plus 3. Oh no, hold on. Plus 1. Start over. Plus 1. Plus 3. Plus 5. Plus 7. Uh-oh. This is neither. Okay. Recursive rule. Don't worry about it for now. Explicit rule. Anytime the constant difference, so if you take the second difference and it's 2, we're going to get into this in chapter 6. So this is a preview. Don't worry about it if you don't get this. This is going to be what's called quadratic. If it's a quadratic, it means it involves xy equals x squared. What's 0 squared? 0. How do we get from 0 to 3? We added 3. 1 squared is 1. How do we get from 1 to 4? We added 3. There's your explicit formula. Now, I'm a math teacher. I've done this a long time, so that's how I was able to come up with that. Let's check our calculator to see if it's right. Y equals clear x squared plus 3. Check the table. I hope this helps.